I'd like to ask that we all rise for the pledge. And after the pledge, if you would please remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. And I welcome you to our new home. And I would like to thank the people most responsible for this new office building, and that's you, the taxpayers of Lafayette Parish. We appreciate that. It's your building, and we thank you. I'd like to give the floor to our superintendent for opening comments.
Good evening, board members. A few updates. District personnel has been visiting schools, and it's been a great start to the 23-24 school year. Communication will be a focus throughout the year to establish clear protocols between the school, district, and our various stakeholders. Part of our district's community engagement plan this year is to continue seeking input from our stakeholders to discuss various issues, policies, initiatives affecting the district. We are in the process of forming a teacher advisory panel. Every teacher, every school will be represented on this teacher panel. Bus advisory panel, in which we will have contracts of buses, and also board. A superintendent advisory panel that will include members of the business, school administrators, teachers, parents, and board members. We will also have quarterly meetings with our chief of police throughout the district and our sheriff regarding safety and discipline in our schools. Lastly, I want to thank the board for their vision and efforts on providing this outstanding central office and a new board meeting. Board members, that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent. Item 2.1 is litigation.
Mr. President, I move that the board enter executive session to discuss the concerning pending litigation in the matter of Crystal Valley versus Colbert et al. Docket number C-202106 G15 District Court Parish Lafayette State Resolution.
Second.
We have a second, Ms. Morrison. Any discussion? Members of the audience? Members of the board? If not, we'll vote on the item. Are we voting with the machine or are we voting? We're going to vote where's
You can vote.
Oh, I see, okay.
Nine for, none against.
We can talk the same when you sleep, everybody.
Very, very good. But he did say he's not leave this, he said, but the absence is
Do you have any ideas? Mr. Chef?
how old are they?
No, you would not follow it. Like his first one and his first few years.
Rachel was teaching, she said.
She told me she and I are very teaching for
I'd like to make, thank you. I'd like to make a motion. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to go back into regular session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we go back into executive session. Any questions or discussion from members of the audience?
Who's your second? Who's your second? Who's the second?
Second.
Mary second. Discussion from members of the board. If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Back in regular session. Ms. Mason?
I'd like to make a motion to accept legal recommendation, sorry, accept recommendation of legal counsel.
Second.
Second, Bob.
Nine for, none against.
Item 3.1, rewards for reading program presentation. Mr. Brent Bayard with the Kiwanis Club of Lafayette. Mr. Bayard.
Introduced to you tonight. Oops. There we go. It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you tonight Mr. Brett Bayard. He is with the Kiwanis Club of Lafayette, and he runs spearheads the Rewards for Reading program in our district. So he has some information to share with us tonight. The Rewards for Reading program provides incentives for reading for all of our elementary students. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. And I got Laura Haynes with me. She's with the Kiwanis with me. She wanted me to call her my minion, but she does all the work, so she's not my minion. And I'm not here for my good looks, so I don't know really what I'm here for at this point. When I am here, I've been here, this is my third year, I think, talking to you guys about it. And I know I'm on a clock, so I'm going to be as quick as I can.
And we gave you an exception. You don't get 3 minutes, you get 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I like it that much more now.
Everybody else gets 3, but you get 5.
And I'll try to stick to under 10. All right, so I'm here again to talk about rewards for reading and give you an update. I'm going to quickly go through what the program is real quickly. I think most of you probably know. Some of y'all I know have been to some of these events now. Background of that is J. Wallace James. These events have gotten very big if you haven't come to one of them. So rewards for reading, it tag teams with your accelerated reader program that you've already got in your system. And it incentivizes kids to reach their reading goals, and that's the whole point, is to get kids to read. So the way it works is simple. When a kid reaches their yearly goal, they get a ticket. We're also now adding more things. They get bracelets now. They get bookmarks and canes. We're giving them all kinds of, because we want everybody to get something for reading and meeting their goal. So they meet their goal, they get a ticket. They continue to read and get more and go beyond it. They get more tickets. We've got kids that have now got over 30 tickets in some years. I don't know how they do it, but they're just reading crazy amounts of books because they want to be part of that drawing for prizes at the end of the year. And that's the big ticket, is the prizes at the end of the year that we give out This all started in, I'm gonna go real quick, 2020 with a $2,500 donation from Home Bank. Within 2 weeks, I contacted your staff, y'all, awesome staff, and we were in y'all school system ready to roll. So they've been very cooperative with us. We promised 2 bikes per school, and that first year we had several more prizes. I think we had 10 prizes total. And this was COVID year, so everything was outdoors. Real quickly, you've seen this slide, you may not remember it, but that first year, the first fall semester, we were not in the program yet. We started second semester. They had 140,000 tests taken. That spring semester, we had 222,000 that the staff said had a lot to do with the program. So 58% increase in reading from the first to second semester. Hopefully this program. So we're all happy. This is a librarian at Myrtle Place. She was obviously very happy with the program. And we got trigger happy too. We started buying bikes. We bought bikes and bikes and bikes. And so now we're bringing bikes to all the schools early. We put them out early. The kids see them all year long. They rub them. The librarian said when they come in, they rub them. They say, that's my bike. I'm going to win my bike. And a lot of them obviously do win the bikes. We, by the end of the year, though, we always have more prizes. The guys don't count, but we do have a lot of other prizes. We give computers now, all kind of cool stuff. The scooters, we have Canes, does a lot of good prizes with us. Laptop from Cox Communications gives us laptops. We have special bundles Parish Proud helped us with. We're now to the point where we can buy Kindle readers and earphones, which kids love. And now we're having the biggest extravaganzas. And next year, hopefully y'all, those of y'all that are going to still be around, please come to see our big extravaganzas. That's me dressed the fool as a Jedi. We have our mascot, the Quantosaurus Rex. And we've even had NFL players come talk to the kids. That is a Super Bowl ring in his right hand. That's Marcus Mitchell. He played with the Patriots. And some of the schools can't have the big ones. We still do the smaller events. But we're hitting every one of your 24 elementary schools. Feedback, I wish I could go through them all, but all your librarians, I asked for feedback, and they give me great numbers. They're talking about quadrupling, double, triple, quadrupling. This is L. Leo Judy's Elementary 22. She came back the next year and said, last year we had 20,000. Above that now we're 22,000 quizzes with an overall average of 91% pass. So they saw 2,000 from their second to this year, and this is blowing their records away. Just a few more, just kind of records that we're getting from them over the last 3 years that we've been involved. Those are record-breaking years for those schools. Alice Boucher had their first million-word reader last year, and she did it again this year, and that was a very special one there. Dussault Elementary had most words read this year in school history, and the entire third grade class met their AR goals in the third 9 weeks. That's awesome. And this is a good one. Falk, after our second year, they went 20 times their previous record in AR reading in 1 year. And these are just some of the words that I asked the librarians to give me a single word, what you think. That's their feedback. So where are we going for this year? I want to get to this as quickly as possible. We're about to have our biggest step up since we started. Bikes and scooters are being delivered tomorrow. So all the bikes and scooters are going to be on campus starting tomorrow. We're making a big run through, and we're bringing banners to every school. Last month, we met with all the librarians and kind of got some feedback. And they asked for more supplies, so we're giving them more supplies. We're giving them the raffle tickets. We're giving them all kind of other things that they asked for to kind of help them with the program, because they were coming out of pocket, and we wouldn't want that. We got suckered into pulling to middle schools now, so we just picked up 12 middle schools this year. So now we're doing middle schools. They said that these kids are coming in, they've been with us 2 or 3 years, and they're like, well, where's the prizes? So we're gonna do something for the middle schools, all 12 of those middle schools. And we're picking up La Rosen preparatory schools. So we're gonna go from 24 schools to 37 schools this year. So we're making a big jump, and that's where, and one more thing I wanted to bring up, does not affect Lafayette, but this program is being seen by others. Dr. Kip Schumacher called me personally and has now pulled me in to help and bring this across the state of Louisiana. And we've got about 8 or so parishes that may be getting this within the next school year. So this is growing. He's gonna give up to $2,500 per Kiwanis Club to start this up. So last slide, I rush and rush. Y'all can get your QR codes. So what I need from all you guys is help. Obviously, we started this with 13,000 all Kiwanis Club members money. We did 30,000 last year. We had 70,000 in prizes this past year. We want to break 6 figures. We need help from the community. That banner's going to be at every single school. If your schools can put something on their website, on their AR that says, please donate to the Kiwanis Club, we'll put their company logos, we'll put the plumbers logos, the dentists, we'll put all whatever logos on their banner. It's going to be in the student pickup line. Anything they can do, that's more prizes we're going to give to your school system. So anything y'all can do, please help. Any questions?
I have a question. If we are donating to the program, can we donate to a particular school, particularly the ones in my district that I would want to support?
Yeah, when we started this, and thanks, and before I forget, thanks for coming to Jamboree and helping pick up trash. That was pretty awesome. She came, actually, if you didn't know, she came and helped us pick up all the trash. She did her civic duty. When we started the program, our directive was to try to make everything as even as possible. So we try to give every school the exact same thing, if that helps. Now, we do know there's some schools that struggle. There's 6 schools that only had 9 1-million-word readers. And so those 6 schools, we're trying to do something big, that every kid who gets a 1-million-word reader might get a Kindle or something. So we're trying to bring those 6 schools up to kind of get closer to the other schools. So that would be like an exception. But for the most part, we try to keep everything as even as possible. Thank you. Ms. Mary?
Yes, I wanted to say that I am a member of Kiwanis of Scott and a sponsor. I've sponsored bikes for Dusson and Westside in my district, and it's a wonderful organization, and I'm so excited about how we're growing and going to add several more schools to this initiative. So I invite everyone to support Kiwanis because they do an awesome job. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Kwani and Mary. All right, well, thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you. All right, item 3.2, remote participation by members of public with disabilities. Do we have any? 3.3, discussion to a solution to traffic concerns for Carencro High and Live Oak Elementary that affect Butcher Switch. I asked to put this item on the agenda just to let you know that we are working, we're having a traffic problem on 182, the Carencro Highway. We call it the Carencro Highway in Carencro. I guess it's University in Lafayette. But there's a turning lane to go into Live Oak Elementary, which is on Butcher Switch Road. And there's a lot more cars than there is a turning lane. So we're working on that. And I want the public to know that we're not doing nothing about it. We're working on it. We'll have more information later.
Have parents pick up, but could we, Mr. Waterlaw, could we get a brief description on the idea of what the possibilities are that we can help solve that? I'm gonna take my glass off so I can see. So it'd be easier to, and I understand that we won't disrupt the playground. We've got enough area to do the maze or whatever you want to call it, to help solve their situation.
Good evening, members of the board. Kyle Bordlon, Director of Planning and Facilities. Roughly speaking, for Live Oak Elementary, we could probably create a queuing lane that would come onto the property on the southern end of the property, coming off of University, and paralleling University to where it reaches the front circle. I don't know exactly how many cars we could get off of the highway, but we could poll the principal, find out how many cars they have on a daily basis, and try to engineer it from that point to find out if we need 2 lanes or 3 lanes or whatever. And then based on all of that, we can come up with some estimates and put numbers together for the next capital improvement process.
Do we know the student population at Live Oak, Ms. Garner?
Rough estimate, I would probably think between about 550 to 650.
Item 3.4, the board meeting for October 2023 will be moved to from Wednesday, October 11th to Thursday, October the 19th, after the election. Item 3.5, new construction. Lafayette High School architects and construction manager at Risk, the Lemoyne Company, will have a presentation on the new Lafayette High School. Mr. Brew?
Good evening, President Angel, board members, and Superintendent Touchette. We've got a brief presentation. This is kind of like following the town hall meeting we had on September 11th at Lafayette High School. And I don't want to steal any of the 5 minutes that y'all gave me for the presentation team, but I do want to recognize the team that are here, the team members that are here. Please stand. And I'll let them take over. Thank you.
Members of the board, Mr. Touchette, we're just very proud to have been involved in this process, revisioning Lafayette High, helping our community. It's been a long journey. It's a very complex project, but we're ready to go. Stephen Domeng here in our office, he has given his life to this project for the last 18 months. No one knows this project better than he does, and I'm honored to be a colleague of his, and I hope you like it. I know we don't have much time. We'd be happy to have feedback after the fact, or whatever questions you have. Please contact us directly if we don't have time today. But anyway, I hope you like it as much as we do, and we're, again, very proud to have been involved in this and honored to have gotten us to this point. So thank you, Justin. Appreciate all your help on that, too. It was amazing work getting all this work set up, and we've affected a lot of schools here in the last 9 years. It's an incredible list. So the board, you should be proud of yourselves, too. I know the community is for sure. Stephen?
Good evening, Superintendent, Board President, and Board. Appreciate you having me here. I'm going to run through the presentation very quickly. It's an abbreviated version of what we presented at the town hall meeting on Monday. So looking at the master plan, this is the quick facts of the project. Basically, it's over a 300,000 square foot building with 3 floors supporting 2,300 students. We have a lot of parking that we added into the project, more parking than they've ever have. I wanted to clarify a comment that was made on Monday's meeting, which indicated the number of classrooms. The reality of the project is there's over 90 teaching stations. That's a much more accurate way of describing the counts. And we've already reached out to the principal and to help her understand what's in the building. We have a dedicated library, we have a concert hall, competition gym, practice gym, dance studio. We really tried to put as much as we can with the dollars available. We really think it's going to be a successful building. Looking at the master plan, as you're aware, the project is being built behind the existing school. If you go out there now, there's a building dirt pad that you can see where the building footprint is going to be. At the front of the site on West Congress is a very long parent drop-off area, 2 parking lot areas, a practice field. And at the rear of the site is a secondary practice field, as well as a parking lot that's already been completed. You can go out there on the corner of Susan Street and Marie Antoinette, and you can see the footprint of the building there in yellow. Looking at the building floor plans, as I mentioned, it's a 3-story building with your athletics to the far right in green. So all the athletics are located on the first floor, with the wrestling and weight rooms on the second floor. The remainder of the buildings are academic classrooms. You can see the main entry there in green, where the administration is right adjacent to the main entry. And to the far left, you'll see a concert hall, behind it band practice rooms, and on the second floor, chorus. Going to the second floor, connecting the 2 buildings together, there you see in yellow is a dedicated library, which we have on the project. And you can see in blue and dark blue and light blue academic spaces, as well as distributed administration shown in orange. Going to the 3rd floor, most of the academic classrooms are on the 3rd floor with distributed administration there as well. So we still have that supervision on all 3 floors. Going to the concept renderings, this is the view of the front of the building coming from West Congress. You can see a very monumental building meant to really celebrate the flagship school for Lafayette Parish system. You can see the concert hall on the far left and the bridge connecting through the school on the right, which is that picture frame window. Looking closer to the building on the left is the entry to the concert hall, and to the right would be the entryway. At the rear of the building, coming from the parking lot, this is the student entry side from the parking lot. You can see it's a very celebrated, monumental entryway for students to enter into the building. There's a courtyard in the middle, which I'll show. So you can see the connection to that courtyard and a dining space on the right-hand side. Looking at the courtyard, the dining to the left on the interior of the building, there's an outdoor covered dining area for students. We found from assessment of students, this is their their favorite spot at the existing campus, and we wanted to be able to provide a meaningful opportunity for them to be able to congregate and hang out on the exterior of the building. On the opposite end, looking at the library, it's a double height space, and you can see it connecting the two buildings together. Looking at the front of the building, directly at the entryway, you can see it's meant to really capture the students and bring them into the building with a lot of glass on the entryway, and you can see the remainder of the building is predominantly brick. At the interior of the building, this is the view of the dining space. It's a triple height space with classrooms looking over into that space below. In some cases, it's a balcony. In some cases, it's glass looking directly into that space. And this is a view looking at the opposite side off the balcony, looking down into the dining area with the courtyard in the far distance. For the concert hall, it seats 600 seats with balconies on each side. And you can see it's going to be a very unique, very nice space for Lafayette Parish School System as well as Lafayette High School to use. And then looking at the library, you can see the glass to the right and the stacks to the left, and there's a balcony that connects this third floor from each end through that space. But this is a dedicated library, which can be closed off. Construction update. As you know, the building is currently under construction. We're looking at students to still be able to arrive in a new building for the fall of 2025. So we're looking at that opening in August of 2025, with the remainder of the project being finished out in spring of 2026. We also want to take the opportunity to cover Neyland Park and give you guys an update on Neyland Park as well. As you are aware, the softball and baseball fields were relocated off of Lafayette High's campus and to be located on Neyland Park with Parks and Rec. The location of it is behind the Robichaud Center. There's 6 fields there now, and Lafayette High School would occupy the 2 center fields, and everything you see out there basically would be wiped clean and built new according to competition standards, which aren't there now. So you see a new baseball field, new softball field, new dugouts, new bullpens, new batting cages. We also worked with the coaches to understand their need for a storage room as well as locker rooms and restrooms for students. This is kind of an aerial view looking down at it, and you can see the storage building to your bottom right, and baseball on the top left and softball on the right-hand side. Neyland Park milestone dates is for us to finish design phases this fall, with going through bidding in the winter and starting construction in the spring and finishing up in the summer of 2024. That is the presentation that I had. I know it was really brief. If you guys have any questions, certainly willing to answer them.
Thank you. We'll move on to the consent agenda. I'll read the agenda item, and if you want it pulled, please let me know. Item 4.1, discussion or action concerning air conditioning. Pull that. 3.2, discussion and or action concerning designation of Lafayette Middle School auditorium as John Allen Prejean Auditorium. Pull that, please. Item 4.3, employee services. Discussion schedule of supplemental pay rates section of the 2023-24 salary schedule booklet. 4.4, employee services. Discussion and/or action concerning a proposed plan of reorganization of staff of the Federal Programs Department. 4.5, facilities. Discussion and/or action concerning dedication of electrical services at Lafayette High School. 4.6, finance. Discussion and/or action concerning the August budget to actual revision for fiscal year 23-24 and final budget revision for fiscal year 22-23. Item 4.7, discussion and/or action concerning Resolution 9-23-2070 and adoption of millage rates for the 2023. 4.8, discussion and/or action concerning the amendment to state agency lease number 21865 on section 16 property in Dusson. 4.9, finance. Discussion and/or action concerning the amendment to the sheriff lease and LCG lease on section 16 property in Dusson. Item 4.11, discussion on action concerning a revision to policy ED student transportation management. Item 4.12, risk management. Discussion and/or action concerning the revised policies that were made pursuant to the 2023 legislative changes, BC School Board meetings, DC annual meeting budget, DID audits, EBCD video audio monitoring of school property, GBRIB sick leave, GBRIC maternity and adoptive leave. I did read one, okay. 4.10, management. Discussion and/or action concerning policy DIBA, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act reporting requirements. I have two items pulled. Put it on, I'm sorry. I'll entertain a motion to move that we accept the items not pulled.
The all items to be.
We have a motion to accept the items, approve the items not pulled. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any questions or comments from members of the audience on any of the items not pulled? Members of the board? Yes, ma'am.
Item 4.4, we didn't have the entire reorg chart attached, so I just wanted to request that we get the entire reorg chart, because I just don't have the benefit of why we're reorging that. It makes sense that we're eliminating those positions and adding the new ones, but I just don't know where they fit into the reorg chart.
Dr. Robley?
They fit into the current structure of federal programs. It's working within the current structure of the Federal Programs Department, so it's not necessarily having to parts that are there, but it's just, I think Ms. McGee can explain further about what specifically it will mean for her department.
Yeah, because I've gotten some questions about the social worker position, I guess, so that's why I just want to make sure that I understand why we're reorging it or moving it.
Right. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Latika McGee, Director of Federal Programs. Actually, our social worker is very specific to foster care and homeless education students. as a supplemental piece. We do have traditional district-level social workers, but we wanted to make sure that we are very specific in our verbiage when it came to federal programs, so it is clear that it is supplemental. Yeah, you're welcome.
Any more questions on items not pulled? If not, do we have a motion to? We have a second. We have a second. Okay. If no other discussion or no other questions, Madam Secretary will call for a vote on the motion.
I take yours. All right. It's on a relay system, so if somebody accidentally touches theirs, yeah. So mine is pressure adjusting. It'll take.
Has everybody voted?
Nine for, none against.
Move on then to the first item full, which is 4.1, discussion and/or action concerning air conditioning on buses.
Mr. President. I move that the board directs the interim superintendent to research and prepare a report concerning adding air conditioning to buses.
Second.
The audience. Discussion from members of the board. If not, Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
You asked for the, did you ask for the board? You asked for the board.
Well, why did you mean?
To ask him. Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone from the audience have any comments? He did not. Okay.
Dr. Chasson.
Doc, you voted?
I did.
Nine for, none against.
Item 4.2, discussion and/or action concerning the designation of Lafayette Middle School Auditorium as John Allen Prejean Auditorium.
Mr. President. Got to keep pressing, I guess. To designate the Lafayette Middle School Auditorium as John Allen Prejean Auditorium.
Second.
That we rename the auditorium at Lafayette Middle School John Allen Prejean Auditorium.
And give me an opportunity to read something about it. You want to do that now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Keep going on and off. Thank you. You know, Mr. President, board members, I am a traditionist, and read something about Mr. Prejean. Though I never met him, don't know him. But someone asked me to look into that, and I thought it was fitting to do so. We always want to recognize those that paved the way for us, whether we met them or not, and I thought it was fitting to do so. Mr. Prejean was a native and lifelong resident of Rue Scott, Louisiana, graduating as auditorium from Scott High School in the class of 1955. He received his bachelor's degree of arts, master's in 1962 from the University of Southwest Louisiana. He proudly served his country for 10 years in Louisiana National Guard, 156th Infantry Division of Medical Company. Mr. Prejean had a passion for education. He provided 34 consecutive years of service to the Lafayette Parish school system and 25 consecutive years of service to the Lafayette Elementary, Middle Schools as administrator. Mr. Prejean was a supervisor of student teachers for 25 years and coordinator of teacher induction program at USL. He was a former teacher in English and French at Cancro High School and was assistant principal, then principal at Lafayette Middle School, a leader in his profession. In the area of curriculum, he initiated a pilot of alternative education program at Lafayette Middle School, which he continued to serve as students in the Lafayette Parish school system today. During his leadership at Lafayette Middle, Mr. Prejean implemented a bilingual language program. That's just a few snippets of what he's done throughout the years. He has an extensive bio, and like I said, I thought it was fitting for us to remember and honor those who have paved the way for us to be what we are today. And I asked his son, I think his on his son, to be here, and he's come all the way from Houston to share in this moment. Give him a moment, please, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you so much, Mr. Broussard. Houston wasn't far enough, so I brought my sister, and she lives way in West Texas, like another 7 hours west of where I live in Houston. So this is my sister, Jonette. And I also have another sister, Carol, who lives in Austin. She couldn't make it here tonight, but I know she's watching us, so you know she wished we could be here. But thank you so much for all those kind words, everything you said about my dad. I'm unfortunately I never met my dad because growing up, everywhere we went in Lafayette, everybody knew my dad. So you might be the only person who hadn't met him, I believe. But I think it says a lot because, you know, he did spend so much time in the school system like you described, first starting at Cancro High, then Lafayette Elementary, became Lafayette Middle, and then later at UL. But altogether, it was over 55 years, you know, that he spent in the education system, you know, here in the Lafayette area. And I know you hit on all the specific things he did, but some of the things that really kind of hit, you know, with me personally, you know, and seeing how he interacted with all these people. You know, when we were growing up as kids and then got to be adults, I realized that a lot of my dad's friends were all people that he taught. You know, it was because when he graduated, he went to work at Cancro High, and he was teaching seniors, so they were only 3 years younger than him because he only went to college for 3 years. So all these people, even the best man at his wedding, I think, was a guy he taught, you know, in high school. So just amazing to me right away how he cared so much for his students, did so much, you know, for them, you know, as young years, and all the way through Lafayette Middle School, you know, and elementary school. And so I want to recognize a few people that are here tonight because it wasn't just me. They came from Houston. Some of his people that made it possible for him at Lafayette Middle and Elementary School, Mr. Keith Patin, Dolores Gurney, Mr. Donovan O'Pry, Scotty Walker back there. Everybody knows Scotty, famous at Lafayette High School for all those years, but you may not know that he really started under the direction of my dad at Lafayette Middle School when he first began. So, and they kept a close relationship for, you know, through his whole life, you know. And my Aunt Georgie Mouton, she's also a longtime educator in Lafayette. They stayed very close too. Did I miss anybody? I think I get everybody. Anyway, yeah, and my wife, Rachel. Yeah, she came over here. She drove me from Houston while I worked. So yeah, she came. No, really, though, thank y'all so much. I know it would mean so much to him to know that y'all were here tonight, you know, in honor of him and to see him recognized like this. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to the board. We were just so excited when you first reached out to him, Mr. Broussard, and let me know that, you know, this was going to be on the docket for tonight. And I just really thankful.
I guess when we do the actual unveiling, when I notify you again, and I don't know what it's going to be, I don't know when it's going to be, but I hope it's part of the 100-year celebration that Lafayette Middle is going to be given, I think in 25, I think it's in 25. they be part of the 100-year celebration. We trying to, I know Ms. Trahan is trying to find alumni from beginning to end to help celebrate that historical moment. So I'll be getting in touch with you again.
That'd be wonderful. We definitely will plan to be here and look forward to seeing a lot of people there. You know, that place was so special to him, to us growing up. You know, it really was a tight family. You know, I remember spending lots of summers there with my dad, doing whatever he wanted me to do, got me to do, and just I was always impressed with how the whole everybody that worked there was like a family. He loved those custodians, he loved those cafeteria workers, he loved the whole staff, and he spent a lot of time, I know, in the classroom, really observing, guiding teachers, very interactive, you know, with the whole campus, and really, it really made a big influence on a lot of people, including all of our families. So thank you again, Mr. Broussard. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Prejean was at Carencro High when I was there in the '60s, so he made a very strong impression of me and many of my fellow students. We finished in '64, and he taught my wife and I and many of my friends. If there's no more discussion or no more questions, I think that's the last item on the agenda. I'm sorry. Oh, we have to vote on the resolution for the naming. We'll do a voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Any other business?